Hello, I'm Z, and welcome to Put Me On, where it's everything college and corporate. We give you tools and resources to help you succeed in college and corporate. And today I'm going to be talking about 5 things that I use to break into product management. Fun fact, I worked as a product manager for 2 years full time. But before I even did that, I had multiple internships in product management. And here are the 5 things that helped me get into the space. The first being Cracking the PM Interview. It's a book that at the time where I knew nothing about product management beyond being a term that I'd come across for a class, this book helped me understand what exactly a product manager did, some of the tools that I needed to know, and the frameworks that would help me as a product manager, and just give me examples of what some amazing product managers have done. I would highly, highly recommend that you read it if you're someone who's looking to break into product management. And of course, there's one that's similar to it for those who are interested in software engineering. It's called Cracking the Code, I believe. I will have the references below. But this book was my starting point for product management. I know, like, I discovered it in a class, well, for a class assignment, but it was really what got me excited about wanting to be a product manager. And it helped me understand some of the things that I needed to get ready if I wanted to break into the space. The second thing that helped me get ready is called Exponent or Try Exponent. That's literally their website. And it was on this place that I understood the types of questions that I would need to learn to answer if I wanted to complete a product management interview. So, as someone who was shooting for software engineering interviews, I was very familiar with behavioral and technical interviews. Technic Technical interviews being like, questions regarding software and the architecture and all of that. But when it came to product management, or when it comes to product management rather, it's a bit different, being that there more types of questions that you need to learn to answer. And I'll just go through like them real quick, but if you want me to fully explain them in a video, I'll be more than happy to. So there's product design, where you try to where the interviewer is trying to understand, whether you can think from the user's perspective. How would you design this product to have, to meet the needs of A, B, and C? And why are you even choosing that user? So they're trying to understand your thought process. Of course, there's a behavioral technical interview types of questions. There's also product strategy. It's not enough to build something that's really amazing. How would you get it in front of the people that really need it? Someone I read in a book once, it says Einstein would never be Einstein if he didn't speak up and if he wasn't around people who recognized the value of what he was saying. Likewise, you might have a genius product, but it's not going to be an amazing product if it's in front of people that don't really need it. So this type of questions tries to understand how you would approach making sure the right people are actually seeing your product and are interested in using it, and the way because of how it's being presented in front of them. And then those analytics and metrics. Can you tell a story with data? That's something that I got asked about a lot in my last job. It's like, tell a story with the numbers. It's not just enough to see the numbers and say, like, revenue is going up. Why is revenue going up? What are some other factors that, might have come into play that would explain why revenue is going up? So, that's not what the interview questions are like, but I'm just giving you an example of what it would be like, when you land your PM role. And finally, estimation. I like to think of this one more as like deduction, where it's like, can you deduce based on like limited data, well, not data, but like limited facts that you are aware of? Can you come up with an answer for something. So, for example, like how many people would take like a lift in New York City? It seems like so wild, but it's like, okay, what do I know about New York City? What do I know about how Lyft rides work? And how can I use that to get an answer? Um, and I found all of these on Exponent. It was a major, major tool for like seeing like sample questions that I would practice with and do mock interviews with. As I was trying to break into product management. So it was very valuable for me. The third being YouTube. One thing I did a lot when I was trying to get into product management was watch a lot of mock interviews. So I watched a lot of questions. So it's not enough to just understand, okay, these are the type of questions that are going to be asked. And yes, you can read some answers to those questions, but it was very interesting for me to see how even current PMs would answer some of these interview questions. And I'll list a number of like the YouTube channels that I watched as as you watch this video. But I watched a lot of mock interviews, and those really helped me because it helped me understand how a PM would think about certain questions. Like there are questions that when I was trying to break into PM, like you would ask me the question like, how do you improve YouTube? I'm like, I don't know, I'll just make it better by doing A, B, and C. But like there's a strategy to answering PM interview questions. And if you want me to go over that, I'd be more than happy to do so as well. Like, there's a reasoning, like you don't just do things to do things. You have to explain your reasoning for doing things. Like, why are you targeting college students as opposed to people working in the office 9 to 5? Why are you targeting people who watch YouTube in the morning as opposed to people who watch it at night or people who just watch it for fun? Um, so there's so many things that go into like answering a question, and watching these mock interviews on YouTube played a major role for me. And I still watch them even though like I've been working as a PM for a minute. And the fourth thing that really helped me get into product management was APM Lists. I'm aware of another called APM Season, but when I was trying to break into product management, I had this tab open 24/7. It's pretty much helped me understand the different associate product management roles, because those were the kind of roles that I was looking for then that were available, and also the different types of product management internships that were available then. And then I didn't know like you could like go to different companies, and for the lack of information then, I didn't know you could go to like different companies' websites and you can just follow them to get updates when their roles open up and when their roles are live. But I was glued to APM List. It helped me stay on top of like when different things were opening up, when RPM, rotational product management roles were going to be open, when TPM roles were going to be open. And I still recommend it. It's still a very valuable resource even right now. And the last and most important, well, I wouldn't say most important, but the last thing that I used to break into PM was LinkedIn. Everyone, if you know me, you know that I'm an avid lover or advocate for LinkedIn. I think everyone should be on LinkedIn who's trying to grow professionally, emphasis on growing professionally. Um, but LinkedIn was how I connected with people who were working as product managers. And I would I'd reach out to like a number of PMs. I would just literally, I had no direction. I would just go product manager, I would search. And when I see like people that I resonated with their content and whatnot, I'd like, follow, and I would use the little, because I didn't have premium, so I would use the little send a note with your invitation, and I'd be like, hey, I see you're working as a PM at this particular company. I'm very excited about like PM as a role. Can you please, would you be open to having a 30-minute conversation with me just so I can understand your experience, and hopefully ask you some questions that I have about the role. And this really helped me get clarity because product management is done differently at different companies. So the way the company I worked with first, um, well, the first company I interned with, the way they did product management was different from the way my last company did product management. It was like entirely different. Um, and not entirely different as in you don't use the same frameworks, but it was different in terms of like, your scope as a product management, your scope being like, the amount of stuff that was expected of you. Um, but LinkedIn is a great resource for anyone who's trying to break into PM. I wish you the very best. If you're someone who's trying to break into PM, please connect with me. Let me know if there's anything else that you would like me to cover on the PM subject, well, PM being product management. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.